Earlier on, the National Super Alliance did hold a press conference here in Nairobi, addressed by, among others, the NASA CEO, Norman Magaya. Let's listen into that.
To some illegal Matiang'i. With me here is Senator for Nairobi, Wakili Edwin Sifuna. We have the Member of Parliament for Sabot, that is Caleb Amisi. We have our Senator, Kwamboka is with us here. And then we also have Wakili Nelson Havi. And together we want to issue the following statement. One, we welcome the decision of the High Court this morning lifting the CS Fred Matiang'i's illegal and unconstitutional move purporting to ban the exercise by the people of their constitutional rights under Article 37 to picket, demonstrate, and to assemble peacefully, and further restraining police from arresting the NASA CEO, Norman Magaya. For the benefit of the doubt, this is the order of the court. I am reading it verbatim, and will give you copies that pending the hearing and determination of this petition, a conservatory order be and is hereby issued, preventing and or restraining the first respondent, that is the Inspector General of Police, the second respondent, the Director of Public Prosecution, and the third respondent, that is Mr. Fred Matiang'i, who is the Acting Cabinet Secretary for the Ministry for Interior and National Government, from further implementing and or effecting the ban on the exercise of the fundamental rights and freedoms of picketing and as enshrined under Article 37 of the Constitution, as per his decision contained in a letter issued to the public on the 12th of October 2017. The order in respect of the arrest of Norman Magaya is that pending the hearing and determination of the petition, a conservatory order be and is hereby issued, staying and or quashing the implementation and or directive of the third respondent, that is Fred Matiang'i, whose effect is the arrest of the petitioner, Mr. Norman Magaya, for discharging his lawful activities as the CEO of the National Super Alliance. So that is the order of the court. So we continue to say that once again, the judiciary has struck a blow for constitutionality and the rule of law in this country, reminding those in power today that they are minions like Matiang'i, that the Kenyan people are free people with rights that cannot be taken away at their whims. We take this opportunity to condemn in the strongest terms possible the ongoing extrajudicial killings, brutalization, and torture of innocent Kenyans by police, cheered on by the top leadership of the murderous regime, that is the Jubilee government. We have seen none other than the president himself condole families of victims of a collapsed building in his ethnic community, while at the same time turning a blind eye and in fact celebrating the ethnic cleansing that is going on at the hands of a militia with the full knowledge of police. And this ethnic cleansing is directed at a particular community called the Luo community. And I'd like to take this opportunity to say that very soon the leadership of the Luo community will be making a public declaration at a major rally and at a major function to be announced in the next few hours and the next few days. We have seen attempts on the lives of members of parliament, including, among others, our colleague here. You've seen pictures taking rounds in the social media that on Friday, Honorable Kamisi at point-blank range had a tear gas lobbed into his vehicle through the back window, and you've seen that this is excessive and lethal use of weapons by the police with the sole intention to maim and in fact to kill. Yesterday they carried out the same thing to Honorable the women representative of Homa Bay County, that is Gladys Wanga, and Janet Ongera, and the MP for Alego Usonga, Atandi. And we have instructed today, the persons who are affected have instructed the advocate who is with us, Mr. Nelson Havi. We will be taking out together with Edwin Sifuna. Civil action through a constitutional petition, will be taken out for torture, inhuman treatment, and excessive use of force by the police. And we will be asking the Constitutional Court to make those finding and declaratory orders of fundamental rights and freedoms that have been breached, and also to claim for damages. All these point to an increasing insecure regime rapidly falling for the seductions of establishing all-out dictatorship in Kenya, having realized it cannot win a free and fair, credible contest. We reiterate that no murders, arrest, brutalization of the Kenyan people shall intimidate or dissuade us from pursuing our noble cause of ending electoral impunity and theft once and for all. We urge our supporters countrywide, and by this order, our supporters should be notified that demonstrations continue tomorrow, and they will continue until the 26th, peacefully and unarmed, and I want to underline peacefully. It is the duty of the police to separate non-NASA hooligans who come in to infiltrate our demonstrations. It is their duty to separate those and to safeguard also public property. So we are back tomorrow, and I have been asked to announce to our supporters that tomorrow we will have a major rally. We will begin our demonstrations with a major rally at Kamkunji grounds in Kibra. After that major rally, to be attended by all the leadership of NASA, we will then be peacefully marching and demonstrating into town and presenting our petition before the IEBC. So we urge our supporters countrywide to turn out in large numbers across the country for peaceful demonstrations in honor of all Shujas who have paid the ultimate price at the hands of Uhuru's police militia. We reiterate the call to the police to ensure that the protesters, the public and the property are protected from criminal elements who have formed a habit of taking advantage of such demos to cause chaos and loss of life as by law required. So that is the end of the statement. I want to give the opportunity to any one of my colleagues who want to add anything. Kwamboka? Harvey? All right. Norman Magaya, the nation wants to know that they have not taken away your right of speech in the process of your few days of hibernation.
I think right from the time the Cabinet Secretary issued his statement, it was my position that the Constitution is supreme, that the gains enshrined in that Constitution, whether you like them or not, cannot be taken away by the whim of a pen from the Cabinet Secretary. And I have also affirmed the fact that a dictatorship is cropping up right before our eyes, and it is only proper for all well-meaning Kenyans and patriots that we must pull up our socks in defense of the Constitution, in defense of civil liberties, and in defense of fundamental rights and freedoms as set out in the Constitution. And what I want to emphasize is that the political crisis that the country has cannot be solved through the gun, and will not be solved by the use of brutal force or by use of dictatorial sentiments from the Cabinet Secretary. He must wake up to the reality that the country is in a serious political crisis that will take more than dictates from his office to quell. It must be properly known that the 26th of October, as our coalition has put it clearly, there will be no election on that day, and we wish to reaffirm that statement, however uncomfortable it sounds to those in the Jubilee administration. And a mere act to force through a partial election on 26th of October will not resolve the political question that this country faces at the moment. It will only morph into a constitutional crisis of unknown proportions. And lastly, I think it's only fair that if we are to apply the law, there must be equality of arms, that the law must apply to every person the same way. The selective killing of members of the law community remains the biggest concern. It cannot be that every time this country is faced with a political crisis, that it is the Luos who sacrifice. And I think the Cabinet Secretary must stand warned that our resolve to refer these matters to the International Criminal Court still remains. We're putting together evidence, and at appropriate time, this referral will be made. What is going on amounts to ethnic cleansing, and is being done with the full knowledge of people in the highest offices in Jubilee. And we will not allow this to continue. And we must ask Kenyans that we must be able and be prepared to pay the ultimate price to defend the democracy that we have today. Thank you.